peening. Peening is where you, I believe, put little indentations into metal, or maybe when you shape metal by pounding it with a hammer. Church calendar of some sort. It's the other side of it. 15th century on the Baptist. So that's what it looks like. This, with understatement, says figure with dress. But what figure? Surely that person must be important in her time. It must be a very curious way of showing a woman's dress. Found the amount of work that went into it. Colored embroidery, but look at the white embroidery. It could well be lost, except for the discerning eye. It has something to do with making hay. Milking stools. Huh. So easy to understand when you see it why it would be useful with just one leg. You just want to move it quickly from cow to cow. Their churn, of course. Berry scoops, whether they were used to scoop the berries off the bush or not, I don't know. I would imagine that's the case. How clever that could be. Elaborate carving with a berry motif on these two. The carnival figure. What were those tusks from? Wild boars? Fancy bell yokes. But I don't understand is the bell would sit in there, or I mean it would be suspended in there somehow. But where would this whole ensemble be? Butter molds, notice how that one folds up into the mold and then allows you to unfold it. Adds new dimension to the definition of butter knife. Little hole in the one that's standing up. There's a matched one on the other side. They probably could put some kind of device through there to hold it tight. See how this panel on the left interlocks with that panel on the right. We're walking into apparently a typical room of the ball. Perhaps a tavern room or a living room. And substantial tables, didn't they? Just love to know the history of how this got so heavily worn. Where was it placed? What kind of a place? What kind of people sat at that table, and particularly in that position? Those striation marks over there on that side, did they have something to do with that little groove? About these here. These holes, were they once holes that held nails, that held notices on there, or paintings, or who knows? People sat here relaxing, leaning up against that wall there to the angle, with their arms resting on that ledge, looking out the window, smoking a pipe and drinking a beer. This doorway hits me in the forehead. What we're going to go into is the parlor. Have to look up what the definition of parlor was. Looks extremely similar to the last one we were in. Look at the tremendous amount of carving on that huge beam. And all of these beams are carved. That area right there is just about where an arm might hold a glass or place a glass. Could have been so much beer spilled right there, or is that just wood that rotted out earlier in the other? We walk into a much larger room. Hopefully that's an original kind of a domed ceiling, but that's interesting. Never seen something like that before. Another kind of oriel window. We can step outside to see what these rooms looked like from the outside, at least before they had plaster and so forth placed on them, I guess. This floor, a kind of tile they might have used. Soon we're entering into an office again. Notice how low the ceiling, low this doorway is for me. Well, this is a kitchen, not an office. Notice how the pots were held. That's interesting. Tell what that hole is there, or how they got the fire underneath here. That was for. Had something that slid in here. It was really used in the kitchen. Can you imagine how much food has crossed that table? The next room, again with its typical deep windows and the pragmatic bench. Figure out how this was heated or used, unless they put the fire underneath there and it was actually in dirt or stone. Parlor, whatever that means. It's interesting how humans use the same designs for the same functions. We might have the same little alcove in a dining room area, in a kitchen area. You can imagine people crowding around here on a cold morning. Someone sleeping in there on a blanket at a cold night. What was this for? It looks like a clock. Maybe it was an early clock. The hinges here, so the mechanism could have been in there, and we would have seen the pendulum swinging back and forth. That once hold a little bird, it looks like it could have. Interesting, it's a device for holding a large skillet. So you'd cook up a massive pile of grits, and bring it out here and put it on that trimble, something like that. And another parlor. Here, a little bit different looking oven. Almost looks like one of those Fresnel glasses in a lighthouse. But notice the beautiful carving. Very lovely motif. An interesting wall table. Folded up against the wall. Or down, I'm not sure which. Children's chair. And another parlor. Wow. Well, this was very elaborate. Huh. And these massive tables.